Welcome to NWA Championship Wrestling 84. I'm Gordon Soley, your host. During the next hour, we've got a lot of action upcoming, but what you saw just then is the beginning of a war that has broken out between Dory Funk Jr. and Dutch Mantell. With me today, of course, Buddy Colt, and a lot of action happening tonight in Key West.
That's right, there really is. So for all of you wrestling fans down the Florida Keys, remember, tonight in Key West, there is going to be a Conch State Wrestling Tournament to name a Conch State Wrestling Champion. So also next week in Sarasota on November 10th, you will be seeing in Robarts Arena, Jesse Barr will be going up against superstar Billy Graham, and a former world champion, Bob Backlund, will be going up against Scott McGhee.
Should be a great night of wrestling competition at Robarts Arena. With me right now is the NWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, Ric Flair. Alongside of him, the Florida Heavyweight Champion, Jesse Barr.
You know, I might add, Gordon, it's always a great honor for me to walk out here, as I'm sure it's a tremendous honor and a tremendous feeling that these fans have for me through admiration, respect, and let's face it, just general knowledge that the National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion is the most qualified athlete in the world today to speak on any subject. Today, through association, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to tell everyone right here that Ric Flair has a newfound interest in the state of Florida. Very, very rarely in life does an athlete with the qualifications and the ability that Ric Flair has pass through the great sport of professional wrestling. In Jesse Barr, you're looking at the closest thing to an equal I've ever had in my entire life. The new Florida heavyweight champion, a great amateur wrestler, a great professional wrestler, a ladies' man personified deluxe. And with a great deal of pleasure and with a great deal of honor that I stand here with him and tell all the wrestling fans out here, and you listen up real close, when the name Jesse Barr appears on a program, appears on a marquee arena, you take time out of your schedule to make sure you're sitting ringside, because you're going to have an opportunity to see professional wrestling and professional athletics at its best. Jesse, it's an honor that I stand here with you. And all you folks out there, gear up, because when Jesse Barr and Ric Flair are in town, you know something heavy is going to come down. Tell him, Jess.
Oh, yeah. You know, everybody asked me last night about Dory Funk. Well, you know, he's been hanging on my coattail, slowing me down a little bit for the past few weeks. You know, I've been teaching him stuff in the dressing room, giving him, you know, teach him a few takedowns and a few qualifications. But I'm tired of having somebody slow me down. Didn't you tell me he was...
Well, I'll tell you what, Dory Funk Jr., a great athlete, a great champion, took you and tried to convince everybody out there that he was teaching you the ropes of wrestling. Jesse Barr has never needed a teacher. He's never needed a coach. God-given ability and the love of the great sport of wrestling has taken him where he is now. Through association, he will run the state of Florida and run the wrestling here the way he sees fit. You gear up for it. You get ready for it. Jesse Barr and Ric Flair are like diamonds. Woo! We're forever. You understand that? Dig it. Get ready for it.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well, what a turn of events here. Jesse Barr coldly and calculatingly turning aside Dory Funk Jr. Perhaps this will explain something that has occurred recently. Let's go now to a match between Jesse Barr and Scott McGhee, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Right here you see it, Jesse Barr moving rather effectively at this particular moment against Scott McGhee. Scott McGhee powers out. Referee, of course, watching Barr. Barr in the red trunks of the blue piping. High knee lift by Barr that puts Scott McGhee back to the canvas once again. Barr rolling forward, and once again, Scott McGhee powers out before the count. Now, you talk about tremendous athletes. You've got it in these two men. Scott McGhee, of course, from Scotland. Jesse Barr, who was slated that people felt, oh, good move by Barr as he caught him. And now look at here. A full Boston crab applied by Jesse Barr, but Scott McGhee is not conceding, and that's the kind of breed of proud young lions that we have in professional wrestling today under the sanction of the NWA. And boy, I'll tell you, we talk about great athletes. We've got them here. Look at Scott McGhee just withstanding tremendous pain and reverses that situation. Almost had Barr into a pinning situation. You see over in the far corner there was Dory Funk Jr. You saw him in the far corner of the screen. As these two continue to battle in the ring, there you see Dory Funk Jr. at ringside and very intent. You can see his motions. He's very concerned about and now he ties up Scott McGhee. Watch Barr, the calculating opportunist that he is, drives that knee into the small of the back. And here it is Dory Funk Jr. Of course, that's an automatic disqualification. And Dory Funk Jr. now putting the cowboy boots to Scott McGhee outside the ring. But now watch carefully. Scott McGhee goes back into the ring, and the referee is indicating a disqualification here, but the battle goes on. No question about this. But now watch. Enter one, Dutch Mantell. And suddenly, I think, and there you see it. Funk again, as clever as he has started to look like he was moving away from the picture, from the situation. Suddenly charging Dutch Mantell, catching him as Mantell is trying to get back into the ring. Again, Mantell tries to get in, and again, Dory Funk Jr. cut him off with a fast. This time, Mantell rolls into the ring. And brother, you talk about somebody who can take it and dish it out as well. It is indeed these two men. We've got a barroom brawl going here, and Dutch Mantell ripping and tearing at anything he can get his hands on. And so it is Dory Funk Jr., 4.5 years world heavyweight champion, finding himself, and as he starts to come up again, Mantell trying to get that shirt off, charged in on top of him, and pounding away at the head of one Dory Funk Jr. Mantell, obviously, by seeing this, has a tremendous sense of fair play, a great sense of justice. And Dory Funk Jr. now a dazed, staggered man. Full body slam. And again, Dutch Mantell crashing into the chest of Dory Funk Jr. And Funk trying to get up, and Dutch Mantell ripping and tearing away at him. And Funk, I'm sure, beginning to feel somewhat humiliated here. The referee, look, now watch Funk, however. Let's not sell this man short. You don't become a world heavyweight champion and keep that title for 4.5 years eating milk toast every day. You have to be one heck of a man, and that's exactly what he is. You can see now Funk has been lacerated after those repeated blows to the head by Dutch Mantell, and Mantell right back after him again. And Funk back to the basics, a double leg dive that takes a barroom brawl or not, and now Funk retaliating in kind against Dutch Mantell. A real Pier Sixer going between these two right now. And now Mr. Funk is about to lose his trousers. That is his Funk beats a rather hasty retreat. No, he does not beat a hasty retreat. Watch. As he's coming back into this, catches Dutch Mantell right across that abdominal wall with the edge of that chair. And watch Funk now as he brings that chair up high. Mantell ducks to one side, catches him with a solid right hand. It's Mantell now fighting fire with fire, and Funk driven back to the canvas once again. And so Dutch Mantell, a veritable firebrand, no question about it. And Mantell has the former world heavyweight champion thrown on the canvas. And it is Funk in a lot of trouble here. Mantell leaving the ring area at this time, feeling in his own mind, I guess. And now watch Jesse Barr moves in. Funk collapses. And watch Barr. Watch Barr. You talk about a man who is a total, complete opportunist. There he is. He shakes his hands in disgust and leaves the scene. Well, all I can say is that, obviously, as I said at the beginning of the program, war has certainly broken out between Dutch Mantell and Dory Funk Jr. And Jesse Barr is as cold and as calculating an athlete as I've ever known. We'll be back in a moment. Stand by, Key West, because all the action happens tonight at the Key West Football Stadium. Kevin Sullivan in the Purple Haze facing the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and superstar Billy Graham. And the first time ever in the history of the great Conch State, there will be a 6-man elimination tournament for the Conch State Championship. And it'll be Scotty McGhee, Mike Graham, Pistol Pez Whatley, Jesse Barr, Dory Funk Jr., and the Saints competing in that particular event. There will be 2 other great matches. I want to take a moment now to talk to Mike Graham, Scotty McGhee, and Superstar Graham. First of all, Superstar, it's going to be you and Dusty Rhodes against the Hayes and Kevin Sullivan.
That's it. That's the first thing. Number 1 on the menu is Superstar Billy Graham, the American Dream, Purple Haze, and the devil himself. You will see the devil live and in person in Key West. Superstar and American Dream will pull Nelson, the devil, to death.
Mike, you, Scott McGhee, and a host of others in that 6-man conch tournament.
You know, I couldn't be more proud as to be able to say that I was the first man to ever hold that conch state title, because I know it means a lot to the people in Key West. I spent a lot of time in Key West diving and fishing, and I'll tell you, Scotty McGhee and all the other guys that are in this tournament, Scotty, if it does wind down to me and you, it'd just be the best man win, because I know we'll all be out there trying for it.
There's the crown that's up for grabs tonight in Key West, Scotty.
You know, it's a great honor for me to be in the Conch State Championship. Like Mike said, it might come down to Mike and myself wrestling for that championship. And if a situation like that happens, then the friendship will be out the winner, because the most important thing is winning. And that's what I'm going to be down there for.
Thank you so very much. That's tonight in Key West. Great action upcoming. And don't forget, next Wednesday night, championship competitors of Apache heritage. And I might just say, gentlemen, and Jay, particularly to you, that we of Championship Wrestling have ourselves a bit of a predicament, because recently you were a very able substitute, as we're going to find out, in a World Championship match. However, we apparently did not make it clear enough to the referee that it was a non-title match because of the substitution. Consequently, the NWA is looking at us and scrutinizing us rather heavily. But, Mark, you must be terribly proud of what Jay was able to accomplish.
That's right, Gordon. You know, first of all, I'd like to say it's a great pleasure being here in the Florida area. But, you know, last night was the biggest time and the biggest spectacular thing in my life, coming here to Florida and actually seeing my brother beat the world champion, Ric Flair, for the NWA championship. You know, like they said, it was not, the match was not supposed to be, it was supposed to be a substitute match. Therefore, the title was not on the line, but Jay went in there and beat the man 1, 2, 3, and the people in the Florida area did see this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gordon, you know, like Mark said, it's always a pleasure to come here and talk to you and the people of Championship Wrestling. But as you know, Florida Championship Wrestling is, like you said, being looked into by the NWA, because when I stepped in the ring against the world champion, they had failed to tell me and to tell the people that it was not a title match because of the substitution. But Gordon, I'm going to tell you what, just as sure as I'm standing here, Ric Flair, if you can hear me, and the folks that are looking at me right now, I've beaten you before, Flair. You know, I've always been as a world champion, as a world tag team champion on 5 different occasions. You know, Flair, I've also wrestled you along with another partner of yours, and I've beat you. Right, 1, 2, 3, right in the middle. And I've also proven that I can beat you in single matches. And that's what I'm looking forward to right now, Flair. I don't know what's going to happen with the NWA and Championship Wrestling in Florida. But I'm going to guarantee you one thing. Flair, I'll beat you again.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Mark and Jay Youngblood, I might just point out the NWA has ordered us at this time to show you the closing moments of this match between Jay Youngblood and Ric Flair, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. However, the title was not on the line as it was assumed by Mr. Youngblood and the people who are watching. So let's go to the closing moments of that match. And a good chop into the throat, and now it's Flair with a spinning toe hold, but Youngblood breaks it up. And Flair again ties up that leg, but watch Youngblood utilizing that, and notice the way he chain wrestles into a pinning combination. Flair, the world champion, able to come out of it. And now it is Youngblood exchanging chops with the world champion Ric Flair. Flair trying to set him, and look at the block by Youngblood. Flair tried to set him for a vertical souffle. Beautifully blocked by Youngblood. Then Youngblood was able to counter that with his own souffle. And so Flair is the one who had the tremendous percussion along those 26 vertebrae in the spinal column. All right, Youngblood catches one right in the pit of the stomach as he moves in against Flair. And you cannot sell this man Ric Flair short. He is doubled up. And look at this now. Good block, and then Youngblood reverses once again on Ric Flair. So Youngblood, that adrenaline really flowing now. appears to be very much in command of the situation. Referee Bill Alfonso watching carefully. Youngblood, and that appeared to be the inside of the hand, an open-handed chop, another open-handed chop. Flair in trouble here, and it is Flair up and over on that top rope, almost all the way over. And again, it is Flair catching Youngblood right on the belt line coming in. And Flair coming to his feet, somewhat groggy. Moves in on, but as I say, of course, this man is a champion. Good counter again by Youngblood, and Youngblood catches him. 2 tomahawk chops into the throat. It's Youngblood, duck under, go behind, a waist cinch. Flair hooking onto those ropes, but Youngblood rips him free and almost scores the pinfall. Excellent counter wrestling on the part of both men. Both men going to the absolute limit in physical endurance and stamina. Now watch Flair. As Youngblood has been dazed and staggered, brought to the canvas. Now Youngblood back on his feet. Flair suddenly in dire jeopardy here as Youngblood catches him on that top rope, hurdles him halfway across the ring. Flair taking a lot of percussion now to the side of the hip, and again a chop into the head. And now Youngblood moves into that Apache dance, catches him with another tomahawk chop to the top of the head. It's Flair reeling against those ropes now. Irish whip by Youngblood. Beautiful drop toe hold by Jay Youngblood has the world heavyweight champion back. And now at Indian Deathlock, and look at the bridge back. And you can hear Flair. He is beginning to scream in pain. He is beginning to scream in pain as Youngblood is keeping total pressure on that leg, and on the knee. And the referee, Bill Alfonso, but I'll tell you something else about Ric Flair. He knows what that championship means. He's had the taste of that money, and he is not about to concede, and he makes it to those ring ropes, and that forces the break once again. That leg has got to be giving him trouble. Youngblood moves in confidently. It is Youngblood now who can, well, smell that sweet scent of victory, and it is Flair again, this time taking a desperate measure, a cheap shot, if you will, against Youngblood. He misses with a chop. It's Youngblood, cross-body block. And a near fall for Jay Youngblood as Flair powers out just before the count. Now this match is, we're deep into the match, and the time is beginning to take its toll. Look at this. Beautiful move. Once again, almost had him. The chop, and now the exchange chop aside headlock coming off the ropes now. And from a guillotine to a lateral guillotine, and the champion's shoulders are down. A count of 3. A count of 3, and so Jay Youngblood did indeed score a victory.
Don't you tell these people nothing. You got no right. The NWA's got no right. Championship Wrestling for Florida's got no right. You know what I want to do this? Yes. You're not supposed to play on this show. Who are you ribbons, Dory? You got money. You want it in my pocket. You know what a lawyer is? You tell CWF and you smart guys. Nobody plays that tape of me and Youngblood. It's going to cost you a ton of dough, brother. You keep your mouth shut out there.
Well, we were told by the NWA in deference to what happened to play it, and that's what we've done. And we're facing lawsuits. I guess we're facing lawsuits. We'll be back.
From the Atlantic to the Pacific.
Steve Brinson, Big Bob Owens, and the Raider, who I understand is a martial arts expert. So we should have an interesting mixture of matches in this particular situation.
Well, there you see Pez Whatley with a waist lift takedown on Big Bob Owen, and Bob Owen outweighing Pez Whatley by quite a few pounds. And there's just Pez Whatley reaching over, making a very fast tag out to his partner, Larry Hamilton, coming in.
Tag is made. Steve Brinson charges in. Larry Hamilton with a quick wing over takedown. And Hamilton cinches down on that. Brinson, a big, powerful youngster, and is doubly dangerous in the ring. I've had an opportunity to watch him wrestle throughout several sections of the country, and he's a tough individual. But he's got Sweet Brown Sugar to contend with now.
Well, this is the first time we've had Sweet Brown Sugar here in Florida for quite some time, and this is a very exciting wrestler to watch. Another fast tag going out to Pez Whatley, coming back in on that same left arm, just putting that pressure right there. It's about time for Brinson to tag out. He tags into the Red Raider. The Red Raider coming in. Let's see if he can fare any better against Whatley. Whatley with a headlock takedown and just putting that pressure on. Looks like they're trying to make short work of this tag team combination. And in comes Larry Hamilton, another great wrestler who went to college here in Tampa University. Here he is, a left arm bar. Just has the bar. They stay right on that same hold. The wing over takedown and just putting that pressure on. They're not giving their opponents any chance at all.
Steve Brinson moves in now, and it's Larry Hamilton. Swinging around that arm and punishing him. Aha, Brinson finally gets Hamilton back in their own corner. And Big Bob Owens and Brinson both pounding away on Hamilton. He's being held by the Raider. Hamilton's going to have to battle his way out. He caught Brinson and staggered him. Somersaults over, makes the tag with Pistol Pez Whatley. Whatley pounding away at Steve Brinson. And Brinson in trouble now. Whatley closing in on him once again. Irish whip off the ropes. High backdrop by Pistol Pez Whatley. Makes the tag with Sweet Brown Sugar. Sugar. Wow! Sugar exploded with one of those big drop kicks. Another one by Sweet Brown Sugar. A third drop kick by Sweet Brown Sugar. And he has decimated this entire team. 3 drop kicks in a row. And now Sweet Brown Sugar off that second rope catches Steve Brinson. Boy, you talk about a powerful tag team combination. You got it right there. In Pistol Pez Whatley, Larry Hamilton. Now the addition of
Cooking,
Sweet
y'all.
Brown.
We ain't not for cooking, y'all. Sweet Brown Sugar.
Welcome back, sir.
People of the state of Florida, it's a pleasure for me to be back. First of all, I want to say you got people walking around here carrying other people's flags. Well, let me tell everybody, I don't know about you, but I'm a apple pie and hot dog man myself. And I'm pretty darn proud to be a U.S. citizen, the greatest country in the world. Tying people up, hanging people, cutting people's hair. That stuff went out long time ago. This is 1984, knocking 85 in the door. And fans, when I get in this area, full blast, you can bet your sweet bottom dollar I'm going to make all these people walk like a black cat do by night.
Very enough. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be back with more action in just a moment. They found those hopes and aspirations dashed on the rocks when they met the Cuban connection, Big Jim Neidhart and Crusher Kruschev, as evidenced by this film. And Big Jim Neidhart and Crusher Kruschev, and the Fantastic now beginning to take his measure on this combination. But this combination has been indeed awesome throughout the entire match. And it has been the Fantastic using the great speed, their strength, their skills, and their abilities. But thus far, the Cuban small of the back. It's Crusher Kruschev bringing him up now. A gut wrench into a backbreaker, and watch Neidhart come down across him, straight across the throat. And it's the second Fantastic moving in there, giving it everything he's got. But this Russian connection or the Cuban connection just absolutely overpowering. Prodigious strength. They're a powerful combination and have been running roughshod over every single tag team combination that's come along. The Fantastic, of course, coming to Florida with a look at this. Down across the knee, and of course taking all that pressure in the abdominal wall. These Fantastics came here with a great reputation, but that reputation is surely being marred here tonight by this combination of Crusher Kruschev and Big Jim Neidhart. Referee Bill Alfonso down, tolling the count. He gets the 3 count, and this awesome combination continues to roll on like a steamroller. And there you see the Saint moving in, the Cuban connection. Well, speaking of awesome, we're going to take a look at a fellow right now who's indeed awesome. He helped train the wrestlers for the Olympic meet this year. He is a former world champion. I'm referring, of course, to Bob Backlund. Let's take a look at Bob Backlund in action, facing Gary Royal. And Backlund in the orange trunks is an absolute bear about conditioning. He's perhaps one of the most greatly conditioned athletes I've ever known. And Backlund wastes no time. Look at this tremendous lift as he brings this man up above his head and deposits him on the top turnbuckle. This man, Backlund, is in training constantly. If you could train 24 hours a day, he would be doing it. I say a former world champion, great competitor, NAIA collegiate champion, all-around athlete, has his man trapped, hooks that arm, cross faces at the same time, and this man very quickly, Gary Royal conceding to Backlund, and it is all over. Bob Backlund, the victor. Championship Wrestling will be held tonight in Key West at the Key West Football Stadium. A great night of wrestling competition. And this coming Wednesday night, Championship Wrestling will be held in Miami at Miami Sunset High School. That'll be Miami Sunset High School this coming Wednesday night. The Florida Heavyweight Championship goes on the line. Jesse Barr defending that title against the challenge of superstar Billy Graham. Pistol Pez Whatley and Larry Hamilton take on Crusher Kruschev and Big Jim Neidhart. The U.S. Tag Team Championship on the line. It'll be Dory Funk Jr. against Dutch Mantell. Bob Backlund takes on Kendo Nagasaki. The Purple Haze and Kevin Sullivan wrestle against Jay and Mark Youngblood. The Warrior faces Sweet Brown Sugar. The other Warrior faces the Saint. All of this action is this coming Wednesday night. Pistol Pez Whatley is with me. You and Larry Hamilton have quite a chance.
Yes, and I'd just like to say we're going to be down there early in Key West. Get down, yes, sir. We're going to have us a good time. And then we're going to take care of business in Miami. Me and Larry Hamilton, we coming after you, Russian, and you, Big Jim Neidhart. I know you got the Saint hanging around trying to do some obstruction, but we're going to take care of business down there. And if you think we ain't, come down there, because the Pistol Man is on fire and his guns is ready and loaded.
Okay, that's all going to happen Wednesday night in Miami at Sunset High School. Right now, we're going to hear some comments from Dory Funk Jr., the Cuban Connection, and Jesse Barr.
Okay, in Key West, I'm in a Conch State tournament. So is Jesse Barr. Jesse Barr walked away from a fight. He left me when I was in trouble. And I hope in that tournament in Key West I face Jesse Barr. Miami Sunset High School, I got somebody else, and I'm awful glad to be in the ring. And that's Dutch Mantell. Now, I've heard it said already that I got whipped for the first time since Jack Briscoe was here. I'll tell you what, Jack Briscoe never whipped me, and Dutch Mantell never whipped me, because I was looking for him, and Dutch Mantell is the one that left the ring. Here's a $500 suit. I'd give a lot of those for one more chance at Dutch Mantell, and I'm going to get him in Miami Sunset High School. And bring your whip, Mantell, because I've got a whip, too, and I can use it.
En el Sunset High School en Miami van a ver los campeones de Russia contra Larry Hamilton y Pistol Pez Whatley, y tú vas a ver quién es número uno.
Hey, Crusher, do they allow chumps like Pistol Pez Whatley and Larry Hamilton to be walking freely on the streets in Russia?
In Russia, they'd be arrested for indecent exposure, and that's how it should be right down there.
Superstar Billy Graham, you want what I have, the golden belt of Florida. This means I am the best wrestler in Florida. You've got them big 23, 24-inch arms, but every hour you spent in the weight room working out, I spent in the ring learning how to wrestle, and after Wednesday night, you'll have learned a valuable lesson.
Well, there you have it, the comments of Jesse Barr, the Florida heavyweight champion. Superstar Billy Graham, who's held the world title in the past, will be facing this man.
Good statement. Remind that punk kid, Jesse Barr, Superstar Billy Graham was the former world champion. I also was at one time the Florida State champion of the entire universe. So you don't need to worry about teaching Superstar how to wrestle. I'm going to teach you how to fight, Jesse Barr. I'm going to teach you how to get out of the full Nelson, and there's only one way. And that's by saying, I give up.
Fair enough. And Dutch Mantell, the war has started with Dory Funk Jr. No
You
question.
ain't just a talking. The war has started, Gordon Solin. It started between me and an old friend of mine, Dory Funk Jr. Now, a lot of people said, Dutch Mantell, what do you got against Dory Funk Jr.? Well, he knows what I got against him, and I know what I got against him, and we're the only two that know. And I've come a long way to get you, Funk, and I finally caught up with you, but I'm not satisfied now. But I want some more of you, Funk, and I'm going to get some more of you in Miami. And, hey, you bring that little dinky whip to the ring, and I'll make you eat it, baby. I'll make you back up all the way to the wall, and I'll cut you right in two. It'll stop a 1,200-pound bull, Funk, and I'll think it'll stop you right dead in your tracks. Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you, Dutch Mantell. You'll be seeing him in action this coming Wednesday night in Miami at the Sunset High School Gymnasium. That's the Sunset High School Gymnasium. Match time is 8 p.m. this coming Wednesday night. Don't forget, wrestling tonight in Key West.
Mom, you should buy Billy ColecoVision. Huh? Then he could play Burger Time. Besides, he ate his Brussels sprouts. And ColecoVision plays Congo Bongo, and Billy digs and he hears.
This wouldn't have something to do with a free Cabbage Patch Kid.
Cabbage Patch?
Buy a ColecoVision and a Coleco game cartridge by November 15th. We'll send you a free Cabbage Patch Kid by Christmas.
Wow, ColecoVision, way to go, Amy. I did it just for you.
When you buy ColecoVision, you make 2 kids happy.
B.J. Thomas is coming to South Florida with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and 5 great acts. Sunday, November 4th, starting at 1 p.m. at C.B. Smith Park in Pembroke Pines. Tickets available at all Bass and Select-A-Seat outlets. Proceeds benefit the Adam Walsh Child Resource Center. For information, call 435-2500.
Attention Jefferson Ward customers and everyone who likes to save money. For 2 days only, Sunday and Monday, you're guaranteed to save at least 10%. And maybe even 20, 30, 40, or 100% on everything you purchase up to $300 during Jefferson Ward's secret discount sale. When you have finished shopping, present your secret discount ad to the cashier, who will rub off the seal revealing your special discount. If you have not received your ad, pick one up at any Jefferson Ward store. You're guaranteed to save 10% to 100%. Secret discount sale Sunday and Monday. Don't miss it.
Jesse Barr, the Florida heavyweight champion, getting set to move out against his opponent, and that's Paul Gomez. Paul is a tall, rangy individual. By the way, Kevin Sullivan and the Purple Haze were scheduled to wrestle here today on Championship Wrestling, but they have been momentarily barred by the NWA after their unnecessary roughness with Angelo Mosca Jr., so they will not be seen today. So Gomez very quickly made it to those ring ropes, and that forced the break, but Barr was very much in control of the situation, buddy.
Well, Jesse Barr, nice fireman's carry takedown. Jesse Barr is one of those wrestlers that is cold, ruthless, and cunning. It's been obvious to me lately that he will put a knife into the ribs of his friends and turn and twist it, anything to further his own wrestling career, such as people have seen with his regards to Dory Funk, who he did have a close alignment with. Now it seems like he has dropped Funk for Ric Flair. Anything to further his own career. Now, here's Paul Gomez, but Jesse Barr coming back with his big hard forearm up against the head. Like I said, Jesse Barr, the Florida heavyweight wrestling champion. Look at this big soup play there. And that knocks it all out, Paul Gomez. Jesse Barr, very powerful, very strong, very capable wrestler.
Brother, perfectly executed again. Belly to belly. Now he's got him up for that shoulder breaker. And hooking that leg away from the ring ropes, so Gomez had no opportunity to try and get to the ring ropes. So using the shoulder breaker, Jesse Barr emerges the victor. Championship Wrestling will be held tonight in Key West, Florida, at the Key West High School Stadium. A great night of wrestling competition, including the 6-man Conch State Championship. Also, this coming Wednesday night, there you see the title that'll be going to the winner tonight in Key West. This coming Wednesday night, Championship Wrestling will be held in Miami at Miami Sunset High School. Also, this coming Monday night, Championship Wrestling in West Palm Beach at the West Palm Beach Auditorium. On Friday night, Championship Wrestling will be held at the Palm Beach County Fair, and that'll be at the Palm Beach Fairgrounds. And, of course, on the 24th, Championship Wrestling will be held at the Broward County Fair. We'll tell you more information about that next week. And don't forget, of course, on the 16th, Championship Wrestling will be coming to Nassau and Nassau Stadium. This coming Wednesday night, it's Miami Sunset High School. Match time is 8 p.m. Jesse Barr defends the Florida title against superstar Billy Graham.
Still haven't done it, have you? Oh, I know you've talked about it, thought about it. You've even dreamed about it. Well, you've got one more chance.
I do?
You do, because those great grand opening values are back at Waterbed City. We've opened a new North Miami showroom.
But I live in Fort Lauderdale.
Well, you can save at all 11 Waterbed City locations. So now, are you gonna do it?
Yes.
Now, are you glad you did it? I think he's glad he did it.
Attention Jefferson Ward customers and everyone who likes to save money. For 2 days only, Sunday and Monday, you're guaranteed to save at least 10%, and maybe even 20, 30, 40, or 100% on everything you purchase up to $300 during Jefferson Ward's secret discount sale. When you have finished shopping, present your secret discount ad to the cashier, who will rub off the seal revealing your special discount. If you have not received your ad, pick one up at any Jefferson Ward store. You're guaranteed to save 10% to 100%. Secret discount sale Sunday and Monday. Don't miss it.
We just saw Jesse Barr in action. He'll be defending his Florida title next Saturday night, the 10th, in Sarasota at Robarts Arena. Also, Dory Funk Jr. takes on Pistol Pez Whatley. The Youngblood brothers will be going up against the Purple Haze and Kevin Sullivan. I want to take a couple of moments right now to talk to an athlete who's got some remarkable credentials. I'm referring, of course, to Jim Neidhart. Went, of course, to college in UCLA. Mr. Neidhart, you were an all-around athlete all of your life in high school and in college as well. You were, at age 18, rated as the finest shot putter in the world.
Number one shot putter in the world at 18 years old.
All right. You also, of course, competed against the USSR both in 1973 and 1975. You went on, of course, to play professional football with the Dallas Cowboys and on to the Oakland Raiders. So you have...
the Oakland Raiders, the winningest football team of all time.
Well, there's certainly no question about that. In fact, matters, we have some pictures that I think might be of interest right now. There, of course, in your football heyday when you were certainly collegiately and professionally just an outstanding, very aggressive competitor. It was in 1973 that you made your first trip to Russia, was it not?
Yes, I represented the United States track and field team. We went over to Odessa, Russia. We beat the Russians. These are the Polacks right here. These are very fine gentlemen here. We went 1-2 and we beat them here also. They have a lot of insight, a lot of technology, which the United States athletes haven't got a chance of getting because the AAU and the United States system over here suppresses the U.S. athletes so much.
All right, now here's another picture. This is once again in Russia, and this was in 1975. Is that true?
Yes, this is when I had beat the Russians. I had over there in 75, representing the U.S., which the AAU has never really helped me at all. They have suppressed me. They've kept me back. The Russian system, they feed their athletes. They take care of them. They subsidize them. They make sure that they're going to be the best. And let me tell you something. If the Russian athletes, this is me right here with my good friend, Comrade Zurov over here on the left. I got some very valuable information from him.
Well, now,
on a shot put, which enabled me to become one of the best senior throwers in the United States pre-Montreal in '76.
Well, apparently it was during these visits to Russia then that you began to develop quite an affinity apparently for the Russian athletes.
Well, the Russian system, they know how to treat an athlete. They take care of him. They subsidize him. They teach him the right methods in sports medicine, something which you cannot get in the United States through the AAU. The United States has done nothing for their athletes over here. And listen, whether you like it or not, in 1984, in the Olympic Games over in Los Angeles, if the Soviet Union was over there in Los Angeles, there would be a big disappointment and a lot of disappointed U.S. athletes.
I don't like your attitude, Neidhart. You got a bad attitude. You want to live in this country, but you want to hang out with that Russian, and you want to be a communist. Why don't you go over there and be one?
Let me tell you something, Dutch Mantel. You got kind of a big mouth, don't you, chump?
Yeah, I got a big mouth.
You got kind of a big mouth. What would you know about amateur sports, huh? What would you do?
Gentlemen.
tell you something, Gordon. Let me get back here, baby. I don't mean to interrupt your show. I don't mean to come in here. But you know a guy that'll come over here and run his mouth, he's got a big mouth. And he'll talk about this country. And he wants to milk it, honey. But he'll talk about it that way. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I come to Florida for a reason. But that reason does not include listening to some loudmouth, communist-loving jerk over here run his mouth about this country, because when he's talking about this country, I figure he's talking right to me. Let me tell you where I'm coming from, Gordon. Several years ago, the United States, they had a conflict in Southeast Asia, South Vietnam. And when I was drafted into the United States Army, I knew that's where I was going. And for 11 months and 27 days, I fought and I cried for my life, because I laid in the jungles of Vietnam with the 25th Infantry Division, fighting for this country. And I saw many a boy, many an American boy drop dead that never came back. And they were my friends. 52,000 American lives lost. And I thank God that I'm able to come back and breathe God's green air and walk this earth. But when a guy like this comes over and runs his mouth, baby, he's talking right to me. And Neidhart, you tell that Russian and you tell that Cuban connection that I'm not afraid of you, brother, because I left fear a long time ago in the jungles of South Vietnam, where I fought for my life. And they couldn't kill me there, and they can't hurt me here. So, boys, I'll be ready the next time around. Thank you, Gordon. I don't want to interrupt your show, but I had something to say. Somebody need to shut that jerk up.
All I can say is that I'm damn proud of Dutch Mantell. We'll be back. Mark and Jay Youngblood getting set to move out against Ken Timbs and Randy Barber. One fall television time remaining. This should be quite a match indeed. The Youngbloods, an exceptionally popular tag team combination. That's Mark Youngblood. Full arm drag and twist by Timbs, and a reversal by Youngblood. Youngblood down across the arm of Ken Timbs.
Well, you know, Gordon, this team of Mark and Jay Youngblood, they're a very exciting team. They have wrestled extensively throughout the United States and throughout the world, and they are always a pleasure to watch. A lot of chain reaction there, a lot of chain wrestling. See Ken Timbs is dropping down. Oh, it looks like Mark Youngblood was ready for them, ready for anything that happened. Coming over the side headlock, going over, making the tag out to his partner, Jay Youngblood, who you saw earlier just had that pinfall on World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair, as quite an accomplishment. Dory is going right back to that side headlock takedown. You see he's got his full body weight on the upper chest of the Hollywood Blonde there. Just hanging on to that side headlock, putting that pressure on. This here is not a submission hold, but it can sure tear your head off. It can really wear you down. Well, Ken Timbs was able to reverse that, come over the side headlock on his own.
Timbs got from behind, and that didn't work well for him at all. Ken Timbs finding the going rather rough against Jay and Mark Youngblood. These two are of Apache heritage, and they are making their presence felt here today on NWA Championship Wrestling 84. The tag is made. Randy Barber moves in.
All you saw there, Jay Youngblood thinking very quickly, moved out of the way. Randy Barber just hurting himself. He come down, missed that big flying elbow. These Youngblood brothers are very exciting to watch. A lot of charisma. You can tell they're a favorite of the wrestling fans. Ken Timbs trying to sneak in. The referee catching him, warning him to go back out. Another fast tag made to his partner.
Barber taking some punishment, and so is Ken Timbs as Mark Youngblood moves back into the ring. Youngblood now. Bottom wrist lock on Randy Barber, and so Barber's got a lot of problems here. Moving that into a hammerlock as well. Referee Bill Alfonso continually moving around, checking, wants to see if Barber wants to concede. Timbs. And so Timbs missed an opportunity to tag. Comes charging into the ring. The referee sending him back. Meanwhile, the Youngbloods have tagged up.
We can tell that the Youngblood brothers here are a precision tag team. Very easy to tell that they work and train out on and train together a lot. Constantly together, always making a lot of tags, always getting that fresh man in there. Just hanging on that arm. Looks like Ken Timbs there made a mistake. He was trying to reach over, and the Mark Youngblood there was shaking the ropes, causing Ken Timbs to fall inside. Referee putting him back out of the ring.
Quickly dispatching him again up against those turnbuckles now. And it is Youngblood ducking away as Barber caught that turnbuckle head on.
Another fast tag, always getting that fresh man in. Following up with the same hold, putting that pressure on that same arm, wearing it down. Very smart thinking on the part of the tag team here.
A special hi and a get well to my good friend Kit Beecher, and it is Youngblood now keeping Barber tied up, and he is so close and yet so far. Could not make the tag as Ken Timbs had extended an arm out there to hopefully tag up.
Well, you see Randy Barber there kind of begging for mercy, wanting to ease up. Barber, well, he's pulling him back over in his corner. This is where the tables could turn against the Youngblood. Ken Timbs there holding on to him, taking that tag.
Well, Timbs is a very durable competitor and a very dangerous competitor. And Youngblood just found that out as he took a boot right under the rib cage, and Timbs right after him again. Timbs uncorks a hard right hand. He's got Mark Youngblood staggered. Youngblood fires back, however, and now Ken Timbs is on the receiving end.
A lot of chain reaction wrestling here. Big high vertical suplex, and down goes Ken Timbs. That takes a lot out of you. He's in a lot of trouble. Nope. He's able to force Youngblood back over in his corner. The referee there trying to break it, trying to restore a little order here.
Double teaming on Youngblood, and that may serve them well here. Barber with a lateral press, but Youngblood powers out before the count.
Well, this here is the first time during the match that the Youngblood team has been in trouble. Youngblood is going to have to get to his corner, tag his partner, get that fresh man in. But, of course, Randy Barber is going to try and make sure that he doesn't get out. He's choking him over that top rope. He had his throat down on that rope, just putting the pressure down.
Well, of course, competition here is so keen that on any given time or any given night, anybody can be defeated. There's no question in my mind about that. And the Youngbloods now beginning to dominate the situation once again. Good drop kick by Mark Youngblood. Barber powers out before the count. Another chop, and it is Youngblood pitching Barber. The tag is made. Ken Timbs moves in. Ken Timbs charges, and he charged. High backdrop. Timbs coming to his feet, caught with a chop to the back of the head. Another one to the back of the head. Timbs in trouble here. Off the rope. Chop into the chest. The tag is made. Jay Youngblood moves in. Mark Youngblood. An Indian whip off the ropes, and it is to Jay Youngblood. The Patsy dance, a chop right squarely in the middle of the head. Brings him up once again. Full body slam. Tag is made. Mark Youngblood over that top rope. And as Randy Barber tried to cut him off at the pass, it was Jay Youngblood handling that situation. And so the Youngbloods score an impressive win here on NWA Championship Wrestling 84. And that's just about all the time we have. May I just say this in regards to Dutch Mantell. And he apologized to me for his comments and for what for breaking into that conversation with Jim I. Neidhart. Dutch, as far as I'm concerned, my friend, you need not apologize. You certainly had a perfect right to express your opinion as an American, and I can't find fault with it, buddy.
Well, I agree with Dutch Mantel completely. If you don't like this country, Jim Neidhart, pack up your bags and go to Russia, Cuba, or anywhere you like.
That's all the time we do have for this week. We hope that you'll join us next week at the same time. On behalf of Buddy Cope, this would be Gordon Soley saying so long